Let's talk about a really strange quirk in the bond market. It's this weird little fact where the price you see on the screen is almost never the price you actually end up paying. And no, it's not a mistake, it's not a hidden fee, it's actually a feature. And once you get it, you'll understand how bonds really work. So picture this. You've done your homework, you've found a bond you like, and you agree on a price. Let's say it's a nice clean number, like $100. You're all set. But then the final bill shows up and it's for more. What's the deal? Did someone pull a fast one? Nope. It's just how the bond market is wired. And this right here is the single most important rule to tattoo on your brain. When you buy stock, the price is the price. But with bonds, the quoted price you see is almost never the final amount of money that actually changes hands. It's totally by design, and understanding why is absolutely key. Okay, so the solution to this little mystery is that every single bond is kind of living a double life. It has two prices. There's the clean price, which is the one you see on all the trading screens and charts. Then there's the dirty price, and that's what you actually pay. The difference comes down to one crucial extra ingredient. And here it is, the magic formula that pulls back the curtain on everything. The price you pay, that's the dirty price, is just the quoted clean price plus this thing called accrued interest. This is the missing piece of the puzzle. This is what explains the gap between the price you thought you were paying and the bill you actually got. Right. So this is the heart of it, isn't it? If accrued interest is the secret ingredient that changes everything, then what in the world is it, and where does it come from? Well, the formal definition is pretty straightforward. It's the interest that has been building up day by day ever since the bond made its last payment, or coupon. The person who was holding the bond during that time has earned that interest, even if the official payday hasn't come around yet. And if that sounds a bit abstract, this analogy just makes it crystal clear. Think about your job. If you work for 15 days of a 30-day month, you've earned half your salary, right? You're entitled to that money, even if your actual payday is still 2 weeks away. Bonds work the exact same way. They're earning interest all the time, not just on the one day the coupon gets paid. So here's why this matters. It all comes down to fairness. When you buy a bond from someone, you have to pay them for the interest they rightfully earned while they were holding it. You're basically reimbursing them for that time. Then, later, when the next official coupon date hits, you get the full payment, which includes the part you already paid forward to the seller. Everyone's made whole. Okay, this is a fantastic question and probably exactly what you're thinking. If every trade actually settles using the dirty price, why don't we just quote that price everywhere? Why make things complicated with this two-price system? The reason is all about clarity. See, that accrued interest ticks up a little bit every single day. So if we quoted the dirty price, a bond's price would just slowly climb all the time simply because time is passing. It creates all this noise that makes it almost impossible to see if the bond's actual market value is going up or down. The clean price strips out that daily time noise, so you can see what the market really thinks the bond is worth. Okay, so we know we have to calculate this interest. It should be pretty easy, right? You just count the days. Well, not so fast. This is where finance decides to get a little creative and add a fascinating wrinkle. I absolutely love this quote because it just perfectly captures the spirit of what's coming next. To figure out the accrued interest, you need to know how to count the days in a month and in a year. And believe it or not, in the world of finance, there's more than one way to do that. This brings us to the kind of wild world of day count conventions. Different types of bonds literally use different calendars to calculate interest. It's crazy. U.S. corporate bonds often just pretend every month has exactly 30 days and the year has 360, mostly to make the math a little easier. Government bonds, though, they use the real calendar, the actual days. The convention a bond uses is a fixed rule, and it's super important because it directly changes the final dollar amount you're going to pay. So let's walk through a quick example to make this concrete. We'll use that 30/360 convention. First, we count the days. Let's say it's been from June 1st to September 30th. In this world, that's 4 full months, which is exactly 120 days. Easy. Then we find our daily interest rate by taking the annual rate and dividing by 360. And finally, we just multiply it all together. And bam! When you run those numbers, the result is $16.67. Now, let's put it all together. You take the quoted clean price, let's say it was $1,000, and you add our freshly calculated accrued interest of $16.67. And there you have it, $1,016.67. That is the dirty price, the actual cash you pay to settle the trade. Mystery solved. All right, so let's do a super quick recap. The clean price is for looking, for quoting, for analysis. The dirty price is for paying. It's the settlement price. Accrued interest is the bridge that connects the two, and it's all about making sure the seller gets paid what they're owed. And finally, day count conventions are the quirky rulebooks that tell you how to measure the time to calculate that interest. I don't think I've ever heard it put better than this. It just sums up the whole thing perfectly. You use the clean price for thinking and analyzing, but when it's time to actually open your wallet, you're dealing with the dirty price. If you remember nothing else, remember that. So now we've totally nailed the mechanics of how a bond's price is calculated on any given day. But that leads to a much, much bigger question, doesn't it? What makes that base clean price move up and down in the first place? That's the real game. Ponder on that, and we'll catch you on the next one.